Dual set.
Heart to heart. Noonas podcast vida.
Welcome back to another episode of the Noonas podcast. As always, with your hosts, Jenny and Ginny.
Top of the afternoon, guys, or morning or evening or whatever you guys are listening to this.
Whatever time you're listening to this insanity that is our crazy K-pop show on the internet. But we got another packed episode this week of both K-pop news and reviews. Because it's getting to the end of the year and we have just an onslaught of new stuff coming out, just kind of hitting us. My end of the year list is going to be hard to decide, I think, at the end of this year.
Oh yeah, and also just to add to, Chris is interested in coming in for like the top 10 too, just to a reminder.
Oh yeah, because I know he wanted to talk about that, so we might have to have a guest on for our top 10 finale for the year. Because that's going to be very soon. As I look at my list of albums, and I'm like, shit.
It's like top 10, and we have to organize, and also looking at the award season, which is really coming soon. Which
as we're gonna actually talk today, because we're gonna talk about the Mama 2021 nominations, which came out last week. Some of the big nominations in terms of who was nominated, and some of the snubs I think that came out too from Mama, because I got a rant. I'm warning you all ahead of time. I have a rant. But we have the Mama 2021 nominations to talk about this week, as well as some interesting news that came out of the HYBE 2021 kind of public. It's not really shareholders meeting, but it's kind of like a public. Oh, how did they call it? Because they released it out on YouTube last week, back on the 4th, where there's kind of what's going on with HYBE and their plans for the future for the business as a whole. And just to say, just some interesting developments that really kind of
contradicts.
For lack of a better term, contradicts what's the message out there. We'll get into it when we get into it.
Yeah, and that
later
pissed me off. That's probably a rant. I'll try to be trying to sound reasonable with this, because there's so much we need to research we'll get into it.
We'll get into it. Yeah, oh my god, the research I had to do with this one too, as well as a couple album reviews this week. We have 2 mini album reviews as well as 2 singles to release that came out this week. We're going to talk about. We have new music from the group TO1, as well as new music from ONEUS. As well as a debut single from former big hit producer Adora, and a special 5th anniversary single from the group Viction. So I guess because we got a full packed slate today, let's just get into it, because I have a feeling these news stories are going to take up a majority of our time today, because like I said, I think we have some good discussion on these news stories. And we're going to start with the Mama 2021 nominations. Now, I know for those of you who have listened to our show, we did talk about Mama 2020 last year. For those of you kind of getting into K-pop, Mama is stands for the Mama Asian Music Awards, or the
Mnet Asian Music
Awards, which I love the fact they call them the Asian Music Awards, but it's mostly K-pop. Then they kind of supplement it with giving an award out to other Asian countries to make it Asian. Yeah, that's how they get away with calling it Asian. But
okay, with Mama, I think this is the biggest music awards in the K-pop industry. Yeah. It's pretty much equivalent with the Grammys here in the US.
Yeah, it's a pretty big one in terms of popularity, in terms of just the grand scale of it too. I mean, most of the time it's been usually out in other different countries because of COVID. Last year it was actually done in Korea in a warehouse.
In a warehouse
with a lot of dust, because people were waiting in cars. It was a whole thing last year. I think that might be happening this year.
It was such an unprepared system.
Oh. Yeah, all I remember last year was the our wonderful robot ladies with the steamers.
So the sanitizer, that's iconic.
Oh, that was an amazing meme that came out of last year. So yes, also I love to say, Mama does also like to give us some very, very iconic memes usually every year. Also some pretty impressive performances each and every year too. That's usually why I tune into Mama. But yeah, the
And
nominations
early in the morning.
Yes.
Early in the morning.
6 hours later,
Right.
as it was last year. Yeah, no, so yeah, we had the nominations come out last Thursday on November 4th. And I mean, the usual cropping of like typical nominees, I think, was out there. I mean, BTS, NCT, obviously getting nominations for quite a bit for things. I don't want to break down because there's a lot of different categories and stuff. I mean, you can see it. You can look for it online. We might put up a card on our channel here with all the nominations and all the different people.
Gotta help me with that later. Gotta help me. He's like,
I will help you with that later. I will help you with that later. I mean, I know the biggest one, I know we had been talking about both on mic and off mic. We're trying to predict who was going to be nominated for Best New Male Artist and Best New Female Artist. And interestingly enough, so for Best New Male Artist, the nominees came out. So the 5 groups, because it all came out to be groups for male artists. The 5 groups nominated were Drippin' and Hyphen, Epics, Mirai, and P1 Harmony. Which we've talked about 3 of them. I don't know if we talked about Mirai on the show.
No,
I can't remember if we have or not. I know we haven't talked about Drippin' on the show. But I know obviously we talked about Hyphen, Epics, and P1 Harmony. And then for Best New Female Artists, your nominees is a mixture of actually solo artists and groups. Your nominees are aespa, Jo Yuri, Kwon Yoonbi, Lightsome, and Stacy. And I'm not going to lie. I think these are going to be kind of obvious who's going to win for Best New Male Artist, Best New Female Artist.
I think we all have like kind of like a preference on who could like win because like they put it but I think it's going to be because like biases for like a certain label. It's like probably going to put to them. And also, I think they've like broken records, recently. So like, okay, makes sense. I guess that makes sense.
Which in my mind, like, I'm honestly okay. And for those of you wondering, it's going to be in Hyphen for Best New Male, and it's going to be aespa for Best New Female. That's pretty much what we're thinking. I'm okay. I'm more than okay with the Hyphen winning for Best New Male Artist because I wholeheartedly think they deserve it because they're the growth that, like I said, I've seen in the past year has been impressive. Would I like to see it go to P1 Harmony or Epics? Oh, I would love to, but I don't think it's going to happen. It's kind of it's like the whole like Tomorrow by Together 80s thing I had back in 2019, where they were both up for Best New Male Artist and went to Tomorrow by Together and not 80s. And then they kind of rectified it last year and they gave 80s award saying
for like best it was like generation or something. Some
discovery artist award. It wasn't like bullshit. It's like we're sorry we didn't give you Best New Male Artist, but you guys are amazing.
Condolence prize. The condolence.
Something like that. Whereas for Best New Female Artist, like for like I don't know if I should go to aespa honestly because I've talked about my feelings enough about aespa on the show, but like no lie, like I think it'd be funny you went to Stacy. I mean, because ASAP was viral as hell this year.
Yeah, so. I think Stacy, like I think through our personal like taste, I think it has like a lot of better. I guess produced music, with Stacy, like how like they sounded like with Stacy, and they're kind of underrated though. But I think logically, in terms of like them looking at the sales and like the popularity, it's obviously going to be aespa.
Yeah, exactly. So because that's usually what it comes down to. Because it all breaks down. They have judging and the way things are all broken down and stuff behind the scenes. I mean, we don't know how, but. It's Mnet. We don't know how it works because
it's pretty much like any award show is like popularity contests.
Yeah. So, I mean, but basically throughout, like, I'm not gonna lie. So let me get into one of my biggest criticisms of the nominations this year.
Here we go, strap in, guys.
Strap in. Where the fuck is ATEEZ?
Okay, hang on. Before ATEEZ, like we're going back to like the best new male. I kind of felt like they should get more recognition for Kingdom too. Shout out to
Yeah,
Kingdom too.
I agree. Yeah, Kingdom. Yeah, I agree. But like, yeah, I think unfortunately with Kingdom being for such a small agency, I don't think they got enough buzz. But I agree. I think they should have got a nod because of all the hard work they did put out this year. Because
Or at least we put in at the top 20, or like, when you're voting for the world wide, at least put them on there.
Oh, the worldwide top 10. Because yeah, I mean, the fact that they put out 3 albums this year, I'm just the hustle that they're doing right now is insane. And yeah, but I mean, and also I'm quite surprised too for Best New Female. Purple Kiss isn't nominated.
That is not nominated.
Yeah, Purple Kiss was not nominated, and from RBW, which I was very shocked that Purple Kiss was not nominated for Best New Female Artist at all, because I thought they had a very good debut as well as a follow-up album as well. So I'm surprised they are not in competition with aespa or Stacey at all either, because I thought they had pretty successful comebacks and stuff. So that seemed to be very strange in terms of nomination. I don't know why they got snubbed out of Best New Artist as well. So that was interesting. But yeah. But yeah, no, my biggest criticism, seriously, sitting here was out of looking at all this is like, why, pardon my language, but why the fuck was ATEEZ not nominated, at least for Best Dance Performance Male? Because after all the hustle they did between Kingdom and all the sucking up they did to Mnet this year with Kingdom and the show Kingdom Legendary War, and just everything they did, they weren't even nominated for anything. The only thing they got nominated was to be part of the pool of nominees for the worldwide top 10, which is all voted on by fans. So, because your Best Dance Male Performance Group nominees was for BTS Butter, NCT 127 Sticker, which, okay, NCT Dream Hot Sauce, 17's Ready to Love, SHINee's Don't Call Me, which I'm actually really happy to see that get a nomination considering that came out so early this year, and Stray Kids Thunderous.
That's a tight competition though.
It's really tight competition. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I would have loved to see Deja Vu get in here. I'm sorry, NCT 127, but Sticker was not good. Knock Sticker out of here. Put in Deja Vu from ATEEZ in that competition. I don't think they would have won, but to see them nominated would have been really nice, because again, they're like the performance group right now out there.
Yeah, they're one of the best performance group like for the recent generation for K-pop.
Yeah, I mean,
we talked about this in our previous episodes, like how like very theatrical and very extravagant they do in their performances.
And like the fact of the matter is, like, there is a major lack of like 4th generation groups nominated. Like, obviously, like, I mean, I'm more than happy to see Stray Kids, because I mean, Thunderous actually got nominated for a couple awards, which I'm so happy.
Thank goodness. It's just like long overdue.
Yeah, Stray Kids to get nominated for Best Group Male, again, deserved, because last year Stray Kids didn't get nominated for either Backdoor or God's Bending, which was a crime. Because like I said, it's just, even like, I mean, there's more nominations for like on the girls' side, because like both aespa and ITZY got nominated for Best Dance Performance Female, even Stacey, and Oh My Girl. But like for the male performances, it's like all Gen 3 except for SHINee and Stray Kids. So, and even like out of all that, it's like Ready to Love was okay. Like I don't think that's like, it's not even like a major performance for 17, because like I think that goes to Rock With You this year from me in my mind. I mean, Butter is probably gonna win because it's BTS.
Yeah.
Because BTS, but even I could even give it to Hot Sauce. But I mean, honestly, I'm torn of having it go. Honestly, my winner, I would love to see it go either the SHINee or Stray Kids.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I know.
In my mind, because it'd be really cool to see SHINee come and pull. Because Don't Call Me Again was an amazing. It was like a triumphant comeback
of SHINee, because like all of them went to like most of them went to like the military, and it's like a long-awaited thing.
Exactly. So yeah, and like I said, and finally to see Stray Kids finally getting recognition as a major group, both in as a for their song for Thunderous, as well as a group. to get nominated for best male group is, our best, for best male group is just really, really good, because I mean they're up for competition with 127, Dream, 17, BTS, and Tomorrow by Together. So yeah, I mean, again, I'm really, really pissed off that ATEEZ did not get nominated, because I really thought that with how successful Deja Vu was, with how successful Zero Fever Part 3 was,
Fireworks.
Fireworks too. Yeah,
Earlier.
I mean, your Fireworks was very successful. Deja Vu was even more successful. Even Eternal Sunshine was even more successful than Deja Vu in terms of the first 24 hours on the internet. So like they're getting more and more successful. So it's like, why can't they get recognition? I'm just sorry, my 18 heart is screaming right now. Yeah.
I can tell. Like for me, I'm disappointed because like I really admired them for their their performance and their talents and all that. Their natural talents.
I wonder, it's because again they're from a small agency and they just kind of get overlooked because again they're from a small agency, being like the only group that's really out of this agency being KQ. So I wonder if that's part of it, but I don't think that's
most likely.
Fair.
Yeah, most likely. Fair. Yeah.
But anyway,
of course not fair. Of course.
So, but yeah, I mean, across it, I mean, it's pretty normal. I think it's that's my biggest thing. I mean, there's some other like, yeah, I mean, I think I was just very very sus too on some of the nominations, especially when you go into all the groups. So there's also one big award, one of the big awards that they do this Worldwide Fans Choice Top 10, which the fans get to vote on, in which the top 10 groups that get voted on get an award. For being the most popular groups. It literally is a popularity contest. And so out of all these groups, like there's a whole bunch, like obviously like Idol, Brave Girls, BTS, Hyphen, XO, Icon, ITZY, like
Twice.
Solo artists too, like Kong Daniel, Jessie,
Lisa,
even like Rose. All these different groups. ATEEZ is up for the song, Stray Kids, Super Junior, Sunmi, like all these different artists and stuff are up for can get voted for this award. I was very, very interested to see because this is not Monsta X's fault, and it's like conspiracy theory, but also Mnet's been known to be this petty as hell, because there has been really beef, there has been beef in the past between YG and Mnet, which apparently they have now passed, because I don't know if because Icon was part of Kingdom, they've now quelled that beef and now it's moved on to Starship because the only group that got any kind of nomination for that was Monsta X to go in the worldwide top 10, because even Gravity is not in there at all, and Gravity got nominated for on a rookie award last year. So just feels kind of sus.
I mean, because I think we know, like, we've known, like, for a while how, like, they have, like, certain favoritisms with them, groups. It also kind of feels like, with BTS sweeping up, like, the awards, like, these past years, it almost feels like almost like a begrudging thing, like, oh yeah, go take it, whatever. Yeah. Like, I don't know if, like, they have, like, something against, like, HYBE or, like, Big Hit, but, like, it's, like,
so it's very interesting. I mean, because like we've known, like it feels like Mama has like obviously lately has had favoritism towards like SM and HYBE as of late.
I guess, but even because like right now, like they've changed the system into they'll be the ones deciding on who's gonna get the day songs. So day songs are considered like the top prize for like what for certain group to get. So it's like for a special top prize given for one group, and and it feels like with them deciding that they're going to be handing them out or deciding who the winner is themselves, people like fans are like speculating like, oh, they're probably going to like give it to like SM. They're probably like trying to sabotage BTS success and giving it to like SM artists, like, which I don't know, like there's always a possibility, but
Yeah, I mean there
Also,
is.
I mean, yeah, there's like a pros and cons of it because we know like fans have like the power to like push like their artists. Yeah, but
Mm-hmm.
I think they probably like it was like obvious like if they're gonna do the old system again, like they're gonna like
Mm-hmm.
BTS is gonna like set to is a shoe in
Yeah.
for getting like the prizes again.
Yeah, because I mean, like, so, like, yeah, the day sounds like so, which is artist of the year, song of the year, album of the
Our
year,
album of
and
the
then
year.
album of the year because there's artist, song, album of the year, and then worldwide icon of the year, which is I think like the top of the worldwide fans choice top 10. I think it's the top is worldwide icon of the year, I believe,
Mm-hmm.
is what that one is. Um, the worldwide icon of the year. 100% of that is straight to the fans because that's all fan voted on, and like that is 80% voted on through nwave.com, 10% through Twitter interactions, and then 10% is through streaming through Apple Music. Why they choose Apple Music for their streaming platform, I don't know. Why?
I don't
Because
even
I
use
had to do
Apple
that
Music.
for I downloaded it because I had to do it for Kingdom, so I could just stream the Real and Wolfgang for like hours on end, which that wasn't bad, but yeah. But
I think
and then
Spotify would have been like a more feasible people
but
because a lot of people use.
Spotify, well, internationally, more people use Spotify, but in Korea, Spotify has just become more
Limited.
more in there in the country, and because we had that whole thing earlier this year with the whole great, K-pop
Infinity War of
the great Thanos K-pop snap of 2021 earlier this year. Whereas the artist, song, and album of the year is like it's broken down between like there's certain percentages broken down between like judges' evaluations, how much with the digital performances, which is like the YouTube performances, album sales, the music video itself, the views on the music video, as well as how much again on a music platform, global platforms, which again I think is Apple or other music platforms. And so like those all that, and that's for all the categories too. So like that's how it's all broken down when they vote on it as well. So yeah, I mean there is some judges. I mean the judges do have a heavy weight, but there is still a lot of heavy weight based on some streaming as well as some performances. Obviously the album sales are going to play some part into it too. So like again, those million sellers for like in hyphen as well as Stray Kids will help a lot on their end this year because those were million seller albums. So yeah, I mean it'll be very interesting to see, as well as too, we have not received the nominations for the day songs yet for artist, song, and album. So those are kind of TBD to see what those are going to be.
Or like the recent the recent like categories are just the bonsang. So there's like the main prizes given to like one or more winners. Am I wrong on that or
I don't know. I'm not sure how Mama works with that stuff. So
yeah, because we have because like I'm still figuring out like what the heck's like the significance of a bonsang. It's like it's given out to like more people. It's like main prizes, but not as like big as the day songs. Which a lot of groups are trying to get.
Honestly, I think it depends too on which which award show it is too. Like obviously we just had the Fact Music Awards a couple of weeks ago and they had a ton of bonsangs for that because they had all the different the artists that they gave awards to that they gave bonsangs to because it's like a step below a day song. So because like Stray Kids and ATs and Stacy and 17 all got bonsangs and stuff at that award among many others. So and again, that goes like mostly to like again the most popular groups. So, and like I said, there's gonna be other awards that are coming out because we still have the Melon Music Awards, based upon the Melon streaming service. That's another big one that usually happens just around the same weekend as Mama.
They're like I think like Melon comes like first before like Mama because I think Mama was like the
usually
biggest event.
Yeah, and Mama itself is actually scheduled to be on December 11th. So it's at 6 p.m. Korean Standard Time. So starting at 3 a.m. Central Time for me. It'd be 2 a.m. for you, Jenny. So am I getting up for it? Most likely, because I'm like I said, I'm usually
I probably like see the results. So I was like, okay, like who won?
I'm mostly in it for the performances because I like to see the performances live and kind of get the reactions like live, especially because I live watch with some friends of mine through a Discord. So Also, I'm not gonna lie, last year when we found out about when they had the tri fight between the boys, Stray Kids, and ATs, basically to announce Kingdom Legendary War,
I know.
that kind of blew our minds all at the same time. So yeah, not that there'll be anything like that this year. I'm though low key hoping for Stray Kids ATs collab, but
yeah.
May fly forever. There was some BTB.
Hey, BTB, don't forget BTB.
I know there's some BTB in there too, please. Now that they're coming out of the military, please. Oh my god, I just realized there'd be 20 of them on stage at that point. Oh Jesus.
No. And it is like shaking. Oh my god,
20,
more people than us.
That'd be 22 of them. I just realized. Oh god, that'd be insane. Anyway, that'd be fun though. Team May fly forever. Anyway, but yeah, no, it's like I said. I mean, there's always snubs in Mama, but I'm said. It's like I said, the AT snub just makes me really, really salty, especially for the hustle that they've done this year, especially the sucking up they had to do with Kingdom, and they got nothing for it. So, yeah, just a little salty on that, but
it's absurd.
It's a little absurd, but. I guess with that, let's move on to the HYBE news that came out this week because, this HYBE news definitely,
it upset a lot of people, or like it got people to become like aware of like, okay, what the heck is like, what are they doing?
That became a lot of people were starting to kind of getting into cryptocurrency, and we're starting to become quote unquote experts in cryptocurrency. I feel like on Twitter was like really quickly crypto bros very quickly after this news dropped. But because a lot of news came out of the shareholders meeting. I mean, we found out too, like the boys Japanese group is finally coming, which we knew for a while that was happening, but hopefully it's coming very, very soon, including some of the people who didn't win, who are on Island, who were kind of the runners up, are going to be in this Japanese boys group, which I'm really looking forward to. They announced a global girl group there's auditions going on right now through HYBE America. Just other things that are going on for the company as well. Because again, HYBE is a big, massive company. So it's just, there's a lot of business stuff going on.
And plus they could do like more than just like, like just promoting BTS, TXT and HYBE and like
and that's more the big hit side of things, but because HYBE itself is just a huge massive entity. But I mean there's two big things that came out of it, and which one should we get into first? Should we get into the NFTs or should we get into the whole Wattpad webcomic thing?
Okay, I think we should just get to the freaking NFTs.
Should get to the NFT thing first. Okay, let's get into the whole.
Let's get this shit over with.
Because both riled up our armies in different ways.
That thing, like seeing the Discord like between fans like trying like something they disagree with, which is like so annoying. Like looking at like the tweets and all that.
And this is why I say the hell off Twitter. But yeah.
I think we should explain first about like, okay, what the hell, because even me, I still need to figure out what the hell is NFT, like what they do, like how is it like so like damaging to like the environment, like there's so many things that
so basically the biggest news that came out of the shareholders meeting that got basically armies all up in a tizzy were in as well as I think it probably other K-pop fans and stuff too, because again is use IPs and stuff. Was HYBE announcing that they were going to in the process of developing NFTs, also known as non-fungible. I've heard fungible or fundable. I've heard fungible or fundable both ways. Non-fungible tokens, which basically. It's kind of based in like cryptocurrency, whereas
what is a cryptocurrency?
Bitcoin, Dogecoin, those kinds of things. So basically, like things along those lines. So basically, it's like the way they were trying to. I know the way that Chairman Bang was Bang Ji-hook, Hitman Bang, who's now the chair of HYBE. It was kind of pointing into he's now stepped down because now he's wanting to produce. I'm not sure who's actually in charge of HYBE now, but he's the one kind of pointing this at the shareholders meeting. He kind of pointed towards like creating, like using the like artist intellectual property, you're like using them like in like examples like photo cards, like having exclusive digital photo cards. Because basically what's with NFTs is like they're unique things that like you can track like where they've been like started and where they've gone, and they can't be replicated very easily. Like
Yeah,
they
it's pretty
can
much like it's like a digital, like like selling your arts and all of that. But they claim like you can have claim ownership from your art, and you can like make money like through the internet.
Right. It's kind of like another way to like sell your art, and like, because I mean, there's no art, monetary value until you assign it a monetary value. It's, there's it's a lot of economics and stuff, again, like cryptocurrency, where, and I mean, in the K-pop world, and there's no lie to this, photo cards are considered a currency in a way. So, but, in these cases, like there's a whole blockchain that you can follow to know like where it's been passed through, and you can't duplicate it because they can make like a limited amount of these cards. So obviously if there's a limited amount of cards, they're more exclusive, therefore they're more expensive. You can make it a very lucrative thing. And we'll see how they also kind of point out how they wanted to defer like a lot of more like counterfeit and black market products that are out on the markets out there, which I mean, yeah, I know there's an issue with that no matter where in any part of K-pop, like, or no matter even I think in any kind of fandom, like there's always like counterfeit products that
screenshotting screenshotting, which is like I don't understand like how it's like such a like how this is like system that really works well, because there are there's always an opportunity to screenshot videos or pictures in the internet. So like to me like NFTs is not really like a strong type of like system for people to make money off. And also like a lot of people, it's like there are like instances where a lot of people get scammed out of their
it's scammed out of money. And there's also been instances in the past where for other people who've used NFTs where their artwork has been stolen and used in NFTs and then sold down the blockchains, and then before they realize that their artwork's been stolen and then sold for whatever X amount of money, and before they know it, and then it's like then they've seen none of the repercussions of that, or none of the profits from that. So there's those possibilities happening. Like there's lots of problems on NFTs because it is such a really new thing out there. But also, and this is the biggest criticism that armies were pointing out, especially after BTS was just at the UN and their speech in September talking about a more greener global universe and Earth.
Yeah, we're going for climate change. We're
pushing for climate change, and they've been promoting things like they're with the Hyundai like clean vehicles, energy vehicle team, like they're promoting like other like clean energy sources and stuff in Korea and things like that too. NFTs have notoriously been and cryptocurrency too, anything that's been traded cryptocurrency has been notorious for emitting tons of energy and having a huge carbon footprint, even more so than other interactions on the internet. Like I think they said like any kind of like market thing, like they were pointing out to like Bitcoin or Dogecoin or something like that can like emit like similar to like the amount of diesel fuel like a car can emit in a 512 mile distance in like a matter of like minutes or an hour. So like it's a very large carbon footprint in a short period of time, which again, if we're trying to create a greener universe, and now BTS has been promoting a greener universe, not a good look.
And it's like the most contradictory thing that's made by their label. I mean, it's not BTS's fault, because like I don't know if like they've agreed to like going to the NFT business. It's just like their parent company like going into it. But it's like so ironic, and it's just like it's like it's really negating your plans on like trying to create a greener environment, since climate change is like such a big thing that people got like many people, especially the younger generations, need to worry about.
Right.
So,
Although
and
I've heard since then that the company that they're working with supposedly says that their interactions online and stuff like that when they're working on those kinds of online interactions with NFTs and stuff, like they're supposed to be substantially reducing their carbon footprint, like by 99.99%. That's what they say. I don't know.
Press X for doubt.
Again, this is a whole new thing. Like NFTs, and like you said, although I don't know much about cryptocurrency. That's a whole thing I'm not very familiar with. Like all the stuff I'm talking about, like I've only done research in like the last like couple days trying to figure out what cryptocurrency is, and like trying to understand NFTs and cryptocurrency and everything. So forgive me if I'm saying anything wrong, but
we're trying to like break it down like for like people like me, like okay, so like they sell things digitally, but like their machines are emitting like a big carbon footprint. Okay, that's a problem.
And we're talking like the machines, like like the big data farms and stuff, like the servers and stuff like that kind of. Those kinds of places are the ones emitting the bigger carbon footprint. So, and I mean, and let's say like, and to note, HYBE and BTS are, I should guess, it's just not BTS, but HYBE is not the only company that's trying to do NFTs. I mean, the first group that was trying to do NFTs earlier was ACE. They were trying to do it earlier this year with some, because I actually found this weirdly on a Koreaboo article, of all places. They were trying to do NFTs earlier this year, and they also got highly criticized by their fans. Like, they partnered with a different agency back in April. Like they were not like their fans were not happy at all with like them trying to do anything with cryptocurrency or like in the kind of NFTs. And I think like I've heard like I think SM.
I am not surprised, with
YG,
YG, like the big, the big, labels are bound to like
getting NFTs too, and then there's also the whole thing too of like the IP, intellectual property, like using like the artist's name, likeness, to sell this stuff, to sell this merch, quote unquote merch, NFT merch, I mean. There's that whole debate too on the side of things. I mean, obviously because people have also argued on the other side is like, well, it's more to get things shipped. You buy shit off of Weverse, but it's like, okay, yeah, I know we're not going to completely, zero carbon emission, everything in the world. Like we're trying to work our way towards that, but
it's just slow, baby steps,
right.
Just as long as people are made aware and, trying to, become more committed into like, helping out.
But like, I just feel like this whole, like, because they were talking a lot about like trying to use their artist's image and likeness and me, like, I mean, because we've already seen stuff like with like the game, like I'm talking like BTS World, and there's another game apparently like that they helped develop that's coming out later this year or next year that like they apparently helped, and like I have to think of like all the stuff that they had to shoot for that again uses their image and likeness, and it's just like there's a ton of stuff out there, and I know they apparently want to crack down on like counterfeit black market stuff, but like there's a lot of fan made merch that I really like. Like fans make a lot of stuff that's really cool.
Yeah, and it's also like they claim that, oh, this is for the artist. We're doing this for the artist so they can claim ownership. But people who want to do like fan arts or something like that, it's gonna like limit their creativity too.
Yeah, like that's the biggest thing I see is like the limiting of like fan art and stuff, because it seems like they kind of want to take that away, and like fan art's been like a big part of K-pop, I've seen, because they've seen so many different fan arts in different fandoms.
Pop culture in general.
Right, pop culture. Exactly. Fan art's a huge thing. And so like, and like, I feel like that's kind of hindering us away. And it's kind of a shame that I don't know. I mean, like I said, it's the first time it came out. It's a preliminary thing. We don't know all the details, but I mean, from the first get-go, like, I don't know how I feel about the whole NFT thing. Again, the whole cryptocurrency thing is just weird.
It's really flawed.
Yeah. It is very flawed, and it's a very shaky market. I I don't know how I feel about it. So, but I understand what they're doing because they need to find different ways to make money because, again, HYBE is a business and these are ways for them to make money because eventually they're going to have to find ways to make money when BTS is in the military for serving their time. So, like
just
they have to
like the merch as usual, just like the photo cards and all that. Like what's wrong with like the physical photo cards? I think they're more like
I know
more cherished and like just keep like seeing them on your phones
I know
or something. Like
there's something nicer about having the physical photo cards, like putting them in the back of your phone or like having a whole binder collecting of them or like putting them on your wall. Yeah, there's something really really substantial about that. Like the amount of people I've seen putting photo cards on the back of their phones is like there's just something really endearing to that actually. No lie, as I'm tempted to put one on the back of my phone right now after I sleeve it. Debating if it's going to be BTS or ATs or Stray Kids one though, but it's just there's just something really distinct about having like a physical thing than a digital thing. Also, and in my mind also takes away from the fact like interacting more digitally than also like unplugging to and getting more back into the analog world because like there's just something else against more distinct to having like stuff like more tactile you can feel. So
also like I mean like something like really special and like like having like the physical merchandises more than like just seeing them on your phones. But the thing is like it's a lot of like discourse of like so many like disagreements on how they could like tackle this kind of criticism because we what I like also on Twitter was people like after like the after the fans were not like happy hearing the news, so like they were planning on like the K armies were planning on boycotting their BTS season's greetings merchandise soon. So just to like make awareness that they're gotta stop trying to like get the company to stop proceeding into the NFT business. But people are like saying but the season's greetings are not like related to the NFT, so why are you like boycotting or like not consuming something that like BTS didn't do? It's like like why don't you just like boycott the NFT products themselves? It's like well, it's gonna be too late because they're gonna be producing like the NFT stuff like in when when the time comes. So like I think for me I think an earlier awareness like like seeing that the down sales of like the of the season's greetings, if that works, would cause like people to like wait what's happening, why are they buying our shit, more than like like they already have the NFTs out that like they're not buying it. It's like it's so stupid. It's like it's people are like just arguing over like nothing now. It's just,
which I mean, and speaking of more arguing from armies, I mean, I think had a potential to happen. I mean, so this was another thing that came out from the shareholders meeting was they also announced a combination of both webcomics and the fact that apparently BTS is coming to Wattpad of all platforms. So let me get into the whole
our darkest fantasies, like
our darkest fantasies come to life. Anyway, now but get into the webcomic thing first because it's a little more innocent, I think. But and I like the webcomic idea actually. Anyway, so they announced a slate of webcomics that are going to come out early 2022, starring basically like the likenesses and images and kind of different AUs for BTS, Tomorrow by Together, and Hyphen, as well as a big one coming out for an unnamed girl group too as well. I think later in 2022, but the three coming out, they announced the BTS one was a whole different AU, not even related to their music. It's called Seven Fates Chakao, which is based on the Chaco Zappa Joseon Tiger Hunters legends, and it's going to be like an urban modern fantasy, kind of tying in some like mythological stuff in there as well. So that sounded very interesting. Also to know that this is like the third time there's been a BTS webcomic too. So this isn't the first time they've had a webcomic.
Yeah, I kind of wish that they like continue with like the original like lore, because we've seen like like them doing a lot of like webcomic projects before, and it's them like trying to coincide with their like their
universe.
Their universes, as well as like their their albums with the themes
which
associated with it.
There is one that does tie into their universe. It is one called Save Me. And it actually does help kind of establish into their universe. If you want to read it, it is on webcomic. Highly recommend. It's actually really, really good. I've actually read it myself, and it's really does tie in a lot to the universe, and it's we're getting really trippy. Makes me really feel sorry for Jin because he keeps failing. Has to keep going back in time to the same date, and it's
like a tragic hero.
Yeah, it's on Webtoon app. It's on the Webtoon app. So because these are all going to be on the Webtoon app. So the next one is start, and that's going to debut on January 14th. The next day, January 15th, is going to be the one starring in hyphen called Dark Moon. Another urban fantasy teen romance. It's kind of feels like this one's going to tie into their universe, their actual AU established in their music videos, because it kind of feels like I'm getting hints from what we saw in Drunk Days, because it says in the blurb that it's going to talk about like kind of teen life between a group of vampires, a group of werewolves, and a mysterious girl with a secret. So I'm like, this seems very much like kind of what we saw a little bit in Drunk Days. So this might be tying it a little bit to their AU, obviously. So this might be very much closer to AU stuff for in hyphen for them. So I'm actually kind of curious to see what that's going to be. And then on the next day, on January 16th, Tomorrow by Together is going to have their first webcomic with the Star Seekers, which is actually their established AU. They actually do have a title for their AU, which is called Star Seekers. So any of their music videos that do tie in, which typically for them, the music videos that do tie into their AU are like the final song. I mean, the finale songs. So, and for that is talking about the blurb for that said 5 boys who are in a pop group find out that they have had dormant magical powers reawakened as they navigate life in the entertainment industry, which kind of feels like what we saw. There's this mini cartoons, about a 10-minute cartoon that came out on YouTube a couple months ago. So it kind of feels like a little bit of a continuation on that. And so, yeah, I feel like like I said, the Tomorrow by Together and then hyphen ones feel like continuations of their actual AUs established currently in their music videos and their lore. Whereas the BTS one is a whole different storyline.
It's a new story.
It's a whole new story. So I'm quite interested in reading all 3 and seeing where they're going with them. They all have very, very, they're all kind of up my alley because they're all kind of these like fantasy-esque kind of storylines. So, and I'm a big sucker for fantasy. So I'm very curious to see where those are going to be. However, what did cause a tizzy was when they announced HYBE's and BTS now joining Wattpad. So earlier this year, Naver acquired Wattpad, the infamous fanfiction site, in a acquisition earlier this year. So I actually have a friend of mine who works at Wattpad, and she actually knew about this. And so I was actually with her this weekend, and we were hounding her about this weekend. So that was fun.
Oh Lord.
And so they're talking about like having some storylines and stuff, I guess, with Wattpad, some like original stories on there. I mean, and if you know anything about, fan fiction and, slash fic, you know how it can get in that kind of bubble on the internet. And however, when they were popping in on screen, there was it a very suggestive, it wasn't super suggestive. It wasn't super suggestive. They accidentally showed a fan fiction story screenshot that was a slash fic, I think, between RM and Jungkook. And it showed apparently, I think it was in RM's point of view, because I think the line
in our slides.
So what's the ship here?
I don't know.
I know the ship names. It's sad. I know the ship names.
Namkook.
Yeah, it's Namkook. It's a Namkook ship. I know the ship names. This is sad. I don't read a lot of Namkook though.
Yeah. I know some ships. I know some ships.
I know some ships. My main ship is Soap. Anyway, but it's like some of the lines that, like I said, for the first time in my life, I felt like something strange was flowing through my veins. Seeing the same guy and feeling this way, I was embarrassed.
Every time I close my eyes, I wake up feeling so warm.
It was, a lot of, typical slash fics. And I mean, I know there's this interesting line between how people feel about real person slash or real person fic.
Yeah, you can't do that. You're gonna make them feel uncomfortable. So
yeah, there's this. There's
I know they're gonna like research it, like thing themselves, unless people are gonna force it on them. Like,
right.
Okay, that's where we like draw the line. Like,
yeah. And like, okay, and as somebody who does read fan fiction and who has read her fair share of real person slash, especially of K-pop, guilty of reading K-pop real person slash, I at least can distinguish the fact what is reality and what is fantasy. Yeah. Like everything that is in these stories is fantasy and basically is just a like fantasy characterization based upon some of the characteristics of these people in real life. That's how I take it. So that's how I'm able to distinguish the fact between reality and fantasy. Yes. Yes. That being said, you don't have to interact with that part of the fandom if you don't want to.
Yeah, this is why I like HYBE going into Wattpad, and then like they finally made a huge mistake.
And we've made a terrible mistake. Although it's hilarious. I read some fic. One of my favorite fics is them actually. It's a more of a comedic fic, but it's them reading. It's basically BTS reading fics of like they basically one night it's like them drunk, but it's them reading fics like in a circle, and it's like them trying to find like the worst fic in existence. And it's a really funny fic actually.
So it's so self-aware.
So it's very self-aware. It's really funny, but because it's on a very meta level of things. Like some writers are very meta on this kind of stuff, but. Yeah, I mean, like I said, and this is my whole point on this whole thing is like, if you aren't into that, you don't have to interact with that part of the fandom. You can cater your fandom experience to whatever way you want to.
It's almost funny. No, not funny. I don't know, because like I think Taehyung and Jungkook had to like tell them like, okay, like guys, calm down, because like they like paired up, because like also a popular pairing with Taehyung and Jungkook called Taekook. Yeah, it's like a really like very popular ship.
Any of the Mnet line, and like G-Cook, which is Jimin and Jungkook, Taekook, or Vmin, which is Taehyung and V.
Taehyung and Jimin.
Taehyung and Jimin. Why did I just do Taehyung and V? Wow, I just do self-sus. Oh shit. God damn it. God damn it. Anyway.
Yeah, they said like, okay, yeah, sorry. Like, can you guys like back off with that shit, please?
Yeah.
So why is HYBE like going into what?
I don't know. Like, I mean, I knew HYBE had some stake into Naver, like that we knew that happened. So like when Naver acquired Wattpad, like we knew that like it was going to happen eventually. Like it was getting there. So we knew it was going to happen eventually. So, but it's just like, and I know out of all the sites, Wattpad's probably not the best site. Like, honestly,
yeah, I don't even use Wattpad. I use like the old classics like fanfiction.net and AO3.
Yeah, AO3 is a godsend. Archive of our own. That's my bread and butter is going on AO3. Because that's just, but yeah, again,
it's simple too. It's like simple, very simple system as well.
It's very simple system, and again, like I said, my whole point is don't interact with that part of the fandom, because like a lot of people were just like upset about that whole thing. It's like, if you don't want to read, like if that's going to make you upset, then don't do that part of the fandom. Like, again, you can cater your fandom experience to the things you want to do. You can go as deep into it as you want to. You can just be skimming it as much as you want to. Like, you cater it to what you want to do. That's how I feel about it. So, but yeah, I was just like the whole, like everyone just getting up into a tizzy about the whole Wattpad thing was just kind of ridiculous, and then like harassed because they were harassing Jin too on Weverse about it, and especially like just before he was dropping his single for this for an OST, because he's doing a K-drama OST that just came out this week too. And yeah, it's just like, guys, like, it's not that big of a deal. Like, it's just
not that deep, man.
Y'all, they ain't that deep. So I just like the whole NFT thing, I think is worse in my mind, because again, the whole carbon footprint thing,
yeah,
kind of goes against
that's gonna endanger all of us.
Yeah, like,
yeah, but Wattpad, you know, the least of our worries. Fanfiction and all, like, all the slash pairings are the least of our worries.
Oh God, easily.
Yeah.
Definitely the least of our worries.
Fight the big fight.
Yeah, fight the big fight. Fight NFTs.
Hack NFTs.
Hack NFTs
for me.
Well, I wish we went pretty long into these news stories.
The HYBE
talk, but it's just wow. It was this whole weekend, because I mean the whole Wattpad thing. My one friend the whole damage control thing, because of armies freaking out was. So I got to see the other side of it, because again, I have a friend of mine who works at Wattpad, and oh Jesus, my God, like they're kind of like
how are we gonna present it in our videos though? Because I'm gonna be like blurred out artworks.
I have no idea.
I was gonna like have like a slide. I don't know. I'm just gonna make my own fan art. Just
no, Lord.
Or no. You know what? You know what? I'll like spare the uncomfortable. You know, if y'all not into like those slash pairings, I'm probably gonna do something.
Yeah, right.
I'll do something. Just to, save face.
Yeah, save my sanity.
I have an idea.
I already incriminated myself this episode, so yeah.
Yeah. We're gonna get canceled.
Cancel Noonas podcast. We just got on Facebook too. Damn it!
Oh yeah.
Lord help us. Okay.
Already broke down. Now.
Let's get
into
these.
Crash and burn.
Or crashing and burning. Let's get into these album reviews. Shall we?
The real thing.
Let's get into the real nitty gritty of the show and get into our album reviews before we go today. Like I said, we have a couple mini albums as well as a couple singles to review this week. So nothing too major on the radar this week, but still got new music coming out, and let's just get right into it. Let's get into these album reviews for the week, because we got a couple albums and a couple singles to get to this week. So let's just get into it, Jenny, right?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So we got our first album of the week, mini album, I guess, let's just say. It's this week came out back on Thursday, November 4th, with the group TO1, which formerly known as the group TOO, or 2. Oh. With their, I guess, technically now their second mini album, because now they've rebranded. And now it's their second mini album under this new name.
Okay.
It's a little confusing.
Okay, so it's kind of like a Black Swan, because they've been like years trying to like rename and like rechange themselves in the group.
Yeah,
but now they're like Black Swan now.
Right.
Yeah, but
yeah. In this,
I thought they were a new group too. Like I thought like the TO1 is a new group, but like
nope. Nope, they were formerly the group 2, which they debuted back in officially debuted back in 2020, but then they had a rebrand.
Oh.
Not even make it to their first anniversary, and then they had to rebrand as TO1.
Okay, well, so a fairly new group, but they just had like a shake-up too.
A little bit of a shake-up. So, but like I said, they just came back with their second mini album, Realize, and the title track No More X. The reason they had to rebrand is because they kind of went through a whole disagreement with their previous label, NCH. They had a whole fight with them. With them, because they were involved with management disputes, like apparently because they were used to be part of CJE&M, which is again a big conglomerate entertainment company over in Korea. And basically they terminated their management contract with NCH Entertainment. So and had started back in August. So there was just a whole bunch of just disagreements and stuff with them. And so with that, like there was a lot of like shake up, like what's going to happen to the group and stuff. They were able to actually be able to get re-signed under a different contract.
Label.
A different label, a different contract, and be able to rename themselves as TO1 starting in March of 2021. So since then, they've been known as TO1. So it's
good.
been, and they're now managed under their CJE&M's own label known as Week One Entertainment. So that's the label they're currently under now. So, but yeah, so because they were on Road to Kingdom as TOO.
I see.
So they were, but they were also eliminated on Road to Kingdom. But they had like just debuted when they got to when they were on Road to Kingdom. So like they were like literally just got into the scene. We're on Road to Kingdom, but got eliminated pretty early on in the show. But yeah, that's how I kind of knew about them to start their careers. So, but yeah, that's for the album itself and the title track, No More X. I'm not gonna lie, that whole like the chorus, the dom 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 dom. I'm not going dom 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 dom. Not gonna lie, I was trying to really hard to knock Maverick out of my head because Maverick is still stuck in my head from last week.
I guess okay.
How's that quite?
I felt like the song for me, it feels like something like other groups would probably do. I think it sounds like something that would have come from another group. It feels like a bit of like like Monster X or some other like noise type boy bands.
That I was going to say though. That being said, it does sound like another typical fourth gen group. There's nothing else to distinguish it, making it unique or making it different. It's trying, it's kind of just sitting in this whole like typical like noise group layer of fourth gen groups. There's nothing to kind of distinguish them to make them unique or like make them stand out like other groups out there who have just debuted or other groups who have established themselves. So it feels just very plain, I guess in a sense for generic. Noise music. Generic's maybe a better term, but in terms of noise, especially in the noise camp, because we've seen so many different variations in the noise genre of music. And I know there are people do criticize in the noise genre. I mean, I'm a fan of it.
Yeah, me too.
I like it.
I use it for hype, because I just like listen to noise music for hype.
And like I said, and in my mind too, in a time where there is this where people have criticized, there's this oversaturation of new artists coming out. It does make it hard to stand out without bringing something unique onto the playing field. So like it just kind of makes them feel like they're just kind of there and just kind of exist.
Like the whole song itself, it's catchy, sure. I could probably like listen to it as background music, but like I wouldn't like recognize like, oh, this is from TO1. Like that song could have been by anybody.
Right. Like honestly. You said, it could have been done by Monster X. It could be done by Gravity. Like it could have been done by any other fourth gen group out there. I
could have like put a name. It was like could have been somebody. But like
I would think Gravity. Honestly, could have done it too, but feels like something up their alley as well. But I think Gravity might have pulled it off maybe a little bit better. In my mind.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Even the chorus too is like there's nothing much like special in the chorus, like dum 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 dum, and then right after that's just like just instrumental blank, like it's like a blank instrumental like portion. Like they could have like added some rap or some singing in there. It's like it's like nothing. I was like, okay.
Yeah,
like down.
Yeah, it's just kind of plain. Like there's nothing much there. There's not much substance to it. And the music video also is just very chaotic and just very.
I didn't see the music video. I was listening to it, but
I watched the music video too just to kind of also get the whole picture. And like the music video makes no sense either. So it's just there's a lot of mishmash of like. Lots of ideas in there.
Vampires. I saw like one scene like they're drinking some red wine, like so like vampires. I guess like it's like dark like imagery with like the the set production.
I was like vampires. Are they like road racers? Like what? I was getting a lot of different mixed stuff.
There's so many vampires right now in K-pop and hype and TD127. Who else?
Oh no, I'm just thinking of ATEEZ's Halloween performance because they just did a vampire performance of Deja Vu. So the Stray Kids just did a vampire. They did a vampire performance of Thunderous back in like August. So like there's vampires a lot right now in K-pop. So
why are so many vampires infesting the K-pop industry?
So I mean it's I mean like I said it just feels very standard. And overall the album itself is just kind of standard too. Like there's nothing that's really stand outish to me.
Okay, well actually, yeah, there are some like songs that like kind of like okay, like it seem interested in like it's just a couple though. It's just the intro track, which is called Realize intro. It kind of feels like the beat sounds like a bit like Pray for Me, very reminiscent of like the beat for Pray for Me. Like,
I got that. Yeah, I felt very very much like that. I kind of got those same vibes from it. Felt very futuristic.
Yeah,
like that'd been nice if they had carried that into Come Into X, like that would been into No More X, like carry that same theme. Like we've seen a lot of people take that like stuff from the intro into their single. Like if they could have carried some of that futuristic sound, because I don't think they really carry that in super well. That might have made it something a little bit more unique.
Yeah, my other favorite, the track that got me like more intrigued was actually Golden. So I think that's like the song that came after No More X, because that song actually has something going on. Like there's actually some kind of like distinction or something special within like their how they arrange their music, because like they consist of like these violin riffs at the back. It kind of almost feels like and even the music almost feels like harkening to like the old school second gen or like the old school boy band like type of music back then.
Yeah, I liked it. There was this like level of funkiness too to Golden that I really enjoyed. And I think that's, if anything, that's probably one of the biggest standout tracks on the whole album. Yeah, honestly, that, and I did quite enjoyed the second to last track, because they do have an English version of No More X on there, which doesn't help.
Pretty good too.
Yeah, I mean,
it sounds pretty good too with the English. Yeah, with the English, it sounds like
Yeah, exactly. But I really like Mirage because it's a bit more of a loungier, slower song. But I think overall, kind of showcases their vocals really, really well. I think overall, I think as a group, but it's just more of a slower, loungier song for them, just kind of to slow things down. A little bit different than Golden. So like at least there's a little bit of dichotomy in the album itself, but yeah, I mean, in terms of the single itself, it's just very standard fourth gen K-pop.
Yeah,
unfortunately, and for a group that is small, from who's kind of still like trying to kind of get back into it, especially after the whole contract,
the shakeup, the shakeup thing.
Like they kind of need to do something that like make themselves step out a little bit better. Like I said, I really do like for them. Like I think like I really like their debut track, which is Magnolia. Like that's actually I think one of my favorite singles by them. Period. Like when they were known as TOO. That's actually a really good song of theirs. It's a little bit more kind of clubbier noise. It actually has some like uniqueness to it. So yeah, it just makes me a little disappointed that, No More X just kind of feels very plain to me out there. So I wish I wish I could say something a little bit more positive, because I really want to see these guys succeed, especially after their whole shakeup and stuff, because there was a little bit of time people were concerned like they're one, weren't going to get paid, and two, they weren't going to be able to promote anymore. So, and they had just started out. So, so
it's unfortunate.
It's kind of unfortunate. So yeah, I just wish I had some better words to say for this one, but I guess with that, we'll move on to the release on the next day on November 5th, on Friday, November 5th. And this is a debut. Actually, this is a single debut by a artist named Adora, who's actually a former producer at Big Hits.
And also apparently like she's actually lent her voice into like some tracks from BTS. Like you could probably hear like the high pitched voice or the female voice. It is from her, right? Am I correct?
Exactly. Yeah, you hear more of like a female backing vocal or higher pitched voice with the harmonies potentially. That would be with Adora. She did work
That'll be
also.
from Adora.
Yeah, it would be from Adora, and she'd also worked with them on some of their older albums as a producer as well. But she has left Big Hits, and not that long ago, I think she left Big Hit to make it out on her own as a solo artist. And so she has now released her first debut single called Make You Dance, which is featuring Yuna of now of the group Viviz, formerly of the group G Friend.
G Friend.
So we know just went defunct earlier this year. And overall, I mean, the song.
How was it? Yeah. What do you think about it?
I mean, I like the fact it's like this weird dancey bubble gumminess that I like. But it's all over the place.
All over the place. I agree with you on that, because that's exactly how I felt too.
Mm-hmm.
What's very interesting to me, it's very interesting, and like how very experimental how they produce it. It's something it would probably be something that Red Velvet would really succeed on having, because it has like an eerie tone with the thing with the piano. It's like ding ding ding, and like even like the voice too is like very ghostly, like very haunting. Yeah, but it's just like the weaknesses or like the biggest feedback would be just like it's very all over the place. Like it doesn't like flow that well. And I know people, some people would be into that. Those kinds of like those almost avant-garde, bizarre experimental type of music. But for me personally, it's like I couldn't really get into the flow of it. But there's potential with like the eerie atmosphere with it, but it's just like it's like. Yeah,
I mean, I watched it with the music video, and it works with the music video that she has.
Is there a music video?
There is a music video.
For it.
I'll send you the link for the music video, because it's also very avant-garde and weird. It's very weird, because it's kind of this like weird like zombie weirdness to it. And she's also like where she's recording her singing with Yunha. It's very bizarre, but it kind of it works together. So maybe that's why I enjoyed it more, because of the whole package. Because I mean, because you could enjoy possibly that dichotomy of the songs themselves in terms of like how they're different being together, but because I mean we talked about this before, like with aespa and stuff too, where like it's multiple things at one time happening, where like they've had like 4 different songs mashed into one, and whether that works or not, well, you decide. But this I feel like it worked, but it's like almost there to working well, but it's
so much potential.
Missing. There's potential there, and I don't know if maybe she was just trying to showcase too much as a debut single. Like I can do this, I can do this, I can do this, like with her voice and their vocal range.
Like for her to like do that, I'm gonna like show myself out.
Yeah, and I feel like maybe she was just trying to maybe showcase a little too much out there to like, because I mean she is trying to make it out there as a solo artist, so that's it's a bit of an ambitious move. So I mean, like I said, I don't know if it fully works. Like I enjoyed it, I guess, but it's definitely not for everybody. Definitely not for everybody. So because it's a little off. It can be a little off-putting to some people. So. Yeah. But I mean, I'm interested to see what she's going to do next, because I think she's got potential. Like she's got a really good vocal range and stuff too, and she's got some good production stuff as well. But
right, plus like just, her, like the name of like her reputation, like she's one of the producers from Big Hit, which is but BTS is under. Like let's see what she can do for herself. It's like it's gonna be like it'll be concerning about like the first impression from people who would have that on her.
I just wonder if she just, like I said, was just a little overambitious with trying to showcase a little too much with her debut. So that's what I can think of. That it's like just kind of.
Yeah, I found the music video too. By the way, I'll check it out. But I thought it was like yeah, I thought it was like a live performance or something, like something from like a studio would be would do, but I didn't realize like, oh, it's actually the actual music video. Like, oh, okay, never mind.
It's very misleading.
I know it sounds like something like a studio tune, or like not a studio tune, but it's like some kind of like live performance, like from.
Oh yeah, because there's a couple other channels who do like live, like more band performances and stuff too of K-pop songs, which I've watched before. So I could totally understand where you'd make that mistake.
Yeah, so. I thought, wait, it was actually the music video. Oh,
it's like, oh wait, nope, that's the music video itself. So, but yeah, I mean, like I said, it's just. That's a little bit of a mess, but it's not terrible.
It's like there's something in there because like there's something like oh I can like get into it and then like immediately goes into like it's like oh, wait I couldn't wait a minute.
It's like hold up. So but let's get into I guess our next album of the day, and I guess we'll get into our 2 releases that came out on November 9th, so on Tuesday November 9th. And that our first one is going to be from the group ONEUS, who we have talked about in the past here on the show. And this one is ONEUS in their new mini album, Blood Moon, and their title track Luna. Or there's a bunch of like Hangul in front of it, and then the English is Luna. Yeah,
there's actually like Luna, and also like there's some characters that seem like more Chinese or Japanese. It's not like a typical Korean Hangul character.
I think it's Japanese. So
either Japanese because like there are a lot of like imagery there. Like they really inspired from a lot of like traditional Chinese or Japanese historical
a lot of elements
there.
Yeah, a lot of elements into that, and I mean, which I appreciate that fact because like it's kind of nice to see them kind of go back into playing with those more traditional sounds because they did that with Lit back in 2019.
It's almost funny because that's they did it before Lay because like even Lay from EXO I had like that like album which is one of my favorites from last year, which is like Lit, which infused like Chinese traditional music with trap, like heavy trap music. Like wow, that's very interesting. Do you realize like ONEUS did that before, and their name is Lit too.
But I mean, because I think the way this flows with the intro track to this album, which was intro window into Luna, really flows really really well because they had. They had a different solo artist on this has joined them, Choi Yi Lim, who I believe is a traditional Korean singer, I believe. Because you could tell with her voice, because like she has that beautiful like haunting like traditional voice in there, because it sounds. It's just like this very like haunting sound, like kind of to get you ready for this like. The song that it feels like it's a little bit more like of a darker, more like forlorn like love song a little bit, because it just feels like it's like you're actually experiencing a theater play of like consisting with a lot of Korean like historic like period piece elements. Yeah, it has that, especially with the music video itself, because there's a lot of the Korean elements throughout it, from the costuming to the staging, to all overall. And I really appreciate the whole package on that, because it's just, they're really good about being able to tie that all together. And I really appreciate them going back to the roots a little bit with that, with Luna. And it's just, there's also something beautiful, just how it feels super traditional yet modern in the production side of things. With the song itself, because it's just this beautiful, almost very theatrical, like Korean theatrical piece that you could see on the stage. Even with the choreography too, like the choreography feels like that too. It ties in really really well with just everything. It's just that whole message and stuff. So and it's just it's a beautiful song. Like I really 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 like it. Like it's It's been a while since I've liked a ONEUS single right away, honestly.
Yeah. It's like I really like I really like getting into the intro tracks of like some albums because you get stuff like hyper excited for like like the songs to come. So yeah, I really like the intro window because of like them infusing a lot of like the Korean theatrics and plus with like the hip hop side and the modern side of the of like the music. With Luna, it kind of reminds me a lot, because we've seen like other acts before, with like Lay, Kingdom, most recently with their Chiwoo album for Karma, which almost reminds me of that, as well as like a bit of like Weekend's Blinding Lights, because like the modern beat feels a bit like really like a very 80s synth type of beat too, with Luna. So like a lot of like things mixed into one.
Yeah,
very interesting.
But it comes together really nicely, I think, as an overall really nice package. Like it blends super well together. So like I said, I think this is my favorite single there since I think To Be or Not to Be, honestly, from 2020. So
actually like a B-side more than their title track, which is
which one is that?
Yes or No.
Okay.
I love a good like house like runway fashion type of like sounding beat. That's why I kind of like that music. Very
definitely feels
very groovy.
It feels very I agree with that. It feels very groovy, very European in a way, European clubby. Also to note too on this one, the tracks Life is Beautiful and Shut Up Crazy Hot.
Shut Up Batu or something. Something Crazy Hot.
Yeah. Is actually they were actually released earlier this summer as like singles. They released earlier this summer as part of like ONEUS Theater. I think they just did some like one-off singles, and they put those on this album as well. Because I really do like Shut Up Crazy Hot. Like it's just there's something really fun about that track because it's just like super like aggressive in your face, fun dancey.
It reminds me of like the Shut Up Crazy Hot is actually really reminds me a lot of like second gen music. Second gen K-pop music, because it feels very really old school. It feels like since I can't help but think like since they're under like RBW label, which is like also where Mamamoo is. Yeah, it reminds me a bit of Hip and a bit of Super Junior Super Clap, because it has like the Super Clap. It has like the kind of like intuition too. It's like and even the chorus as well. Like
you're right.
Reminds me of like Super Junior Super Clap.
Yeah, you're right. Now that you pointed it out, it really does sound like that a little bit too. And then I really did like Life is Beautiful as well too. There's just something I felt super uplifting. Something about it too kind of made me feel a little bit like something from like On and Off. I've heard from On and Off and just recently. Just something with the production side of it.
I thought you kind of liked it because it like has like a bit of like the electric guitar, like a bit of a rock.
I think that might be that rock a little bit, and just like some of the production on it. I think it's like I said, it reminded me a little bit of like On and Off what they've done as of late, because I've been like I said really really big into On and Off. Which I'm happy they're having a comeback before they enlist. But I really liked Life is Beautiful. Like I said, I think both of these songs were really good singles that they released before they dropped this album, a mini album as a whole. So I mean, I overall like I think this is actually a pretty solid album from them. I know like beginning of this year, like we did not like Devil at the end of last year, but they like the other one, like the Michael Jackson sounding like inspired. Yeah, we liked Black Mirror. Yeah. We liked Black Mirror from Binary Code, and Binary Code was good, and I really do think Blood Moon was really really good too. Yeah. I think Two Moons got a really nice treat with this one. Like this is a really really good album from them. I feel like they kind of are kind of going back to what works with them and what they've seen them do in the past. Cause like they started off so successful with Valkyrie and Lit. And I feel like they're kind of getting back to what they did with those songs. And it makes me really, really happy with what I've seen with them and their growth and stuff. So it feels, this is, I think, a very solid album from them. And yeah, I like it. It's good. Like I think they did a good. They're trying to, again. It's it's a very competitive fourth generation market out there, but I think they're establishing a sound for themselves that's that it's ONEUS, and that's this if you listen to it like, oh, this is ONEUS, and you can tell. So I think it's definitely becoming more solidified for them.
That's good. Yeah. Yeah, so. Not exactly like my favorite album, you know that, but I actually like how how well they produce like their music, and it's really consistent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I don't think it'll be on like my top list of the year, but I mean, I think it's just a solid album for them overall. So, but I mean, I have to come and end them considering where I felt with Devil, like they've really kind of shot back up for me in my mind.
All over the place, like what the hell is happening?
So in my mind, they've really rebounded. So I'm actually really proud of them for having done that in my mind. So thanks, guys. Thank you for rebounding in my mind.
Thank you for thank you for setting the right path and going to the right path.
Yeah, exactly. So, but we got one more song to review before we're done with the episode today. And that actually is from the group Viction, who has been around for actually a while. They're a group they've debuted back in 2016 because this is their 5th anniversary single with a song called Sweet Travel, which they also dropped on November 9th, which actually was their debut date. So it truly was an anniversary single for them. And so yeah, this was a gift to ALIZE, which ALIZE is their fandom name. ALIZE standing for Always We Love the Voice. Because Viction actually is it's interesting because they actually have is an acronym for Voice to the New World. I'm not sure how that all stands out. I'm assuming that's something in the acronym. I'm not sure 100% sure how that all works out with them.
Yeah, I know. They had Vic. Because where the heck is the I go to?
The Viction, I know, but I've heard some of the Viction stuff in the past, and I'm like, okay, like I've like some of it, so like I actually haven't like sat down and listened to a lot of Viction in the past. I've had some people kind of passing me some of their stuff as of late, so I'm starting to like flirt a little bit into a little bit of their music. So I mean, after listening to Sweet Travel, I feel like I do want to kind of dig a little bit more into their music, because I really think this was a really sweet song. It felt very modern boy bandy to me.
It's really it's like another summer jam, which is guys, summer is way past the season now. So because we're all dreading for like the cold and all that. Don't make me like miss the summer again. Like, why?
Maybe I liked it because I just came back from Texas. I don't know. Maybe that's why. It was nice and warm in Texas. I don't know. Because I feel like it was like something like something Harry Styles would have, or maybe it was something like One Direction would have done, with just how it sounded and how the bass and the harmonies and stuff.
I guess, yeah.
It's just, I don't know. I just like that. It was a really sweet song. Just, and like I said, it had to be in a traveling mood. I don't know if I'm just still in a traveling mood.
I know, it was like any like travel themed like songs just like makes you want to like travel now. Like, oh god.
I just really need to go on more vacations. I don't know. But yeah, I really appreciate it. I really liked it. I think it was I thought it was just a really, really sweet song. I think it was just kind of a sweet song just for them to release to their fans, to ALIZE's, and just to treat them for their 5th anniversary. Because right now they're a 7-member group, but they're currently promoting a 6th. One of their members has enlisted as of 2021, so they're kind of in that starting of the enlistment. I believe it was Sungwoo, who's already released, already is enlisted into the military back in July. So he's the first one to go. And yeah, so it just was a really nice kind of sweet song, just sweet gift to their fans. The music video is also very sweet as well. Especially at the end where they're just kind of being dorks, because it's basically kind of them like look like they rent like it's like they rented a house and just literally had fun shooting this music video.
They just like did a vlog and just like recording themselves.
Yeah, so it looked like they just had a really good time with this. So it was just, like I said, it's just a really sweet gift to their fans. And I think it was just a really cute song overall. So
yeah, same here. So it's like, it's fine. Like nothing like got really like invested in, but it's just like okay. I mean, it may not part of be like part of their their fan base, but yeah, I think it's a cute tribute for them, for their anniversary. Still like still into that their previous song, What They Say. That's really like that's really upbeat, or that's really like getting into the mood. What they say.
Yeah, I mean, I've listened to a couple of their songs previously. Like I've listened to Mayday and What I Said, and I really like those songs. So like,
oh well, yeah, What I Said, yeah, it's actually that song. Yeah, What I Said.
Yeah, What I Said is What I Said. Yeah, it's actually a really good song that came out earlier this year. I also really like Mayday, which came out in 2020. So, if you're looking to get into Viction, and some of the more recent stuff, like the actually really good songs. And like I said, I'm curious into digging more into their discography and getting to know a little bit more about them. Cause like I said, they've been around for 5 years now. So, and like I said, they're going to start kind of slowly getting into enlistment here. Like I said, one of them's already in the military, and it's only a matter of time before more of them are going to be probably doing that, roll into it. So, but yeah, no, I mean, like I said, it wasn't much this week in terms of music coming out this week, but had a few releases to talk about. I guess nothing super spectacular, but
so there's something to fill for like a filler episode. Plus, we're still reworking our, like our new platforms, for like on Facebook and YouTube. I feel
like our news stories were more impactful than our actual music this week, but sometimes it's like that. But
yeah,
we have. Next week, I feel like we'll have to maybe talk about a few things. I mean, because Twice has got their comeback.
Twice, yes.
Because I'm already getting the YouTube alerts saying, "Hey, Twice drops their music video tonight." I'm like,
I know.
Yeah, thanks, YouTube. I know.
Yeah, there's some music videos like they would like announce the premiere, or like they would have the premiere date set up.
Yeah,
and there are some like we're just like, oh, it's 3 a.m. Okay, it's out now.
Yeah, and I was like, okay. So I know like there's them, and then there's like maybe we should check. Also, I think I need to check out. it just came out today, but BI's new album came out today too.
BI,
so,
yeah.
Maybe we can review that next week as well. As well as Mark from GOT7, I think, has a solo comeback.
Yeah, Last Breath.
Yes.
Yeah.
Also potentially, maybe we should potentially review them. Second gen group Tara. Tiara's coming back with new music, who were kind of some of the bigger queens of the second generation of K-pop. So
glad that the second gen are coming back in full force. Oh my God, 2 a.m. Yeah,
there's been a lot of second gen comebacks this year, and it's been fantastic to get back, get into some second gen comebacks. So we might have a good slate of music next week to talk about. So also I'm debating if we should talk about Nizu, because I think Nizu's that new rookie group.
Oh, Nizu,
yeah, because I've heard a lot of hype about that. I've heard a lot of hype now about the new girl group coming out of Starship too.
Too. Like there are some they're like the Starship girl group.
Yeah, there's a couple new girl groups coming out now before the end of the year, and it's like, oh my God, there's always stuff happening before we get to the end of the year. Like I'm gonna need a cutoff date before okay, this is my cutoff date for like albums to qualify for 2021 and that's it. So it might have to be the end of November, I have a feeling. Because I know I just found out SF9 has a comeback before the end of the month now.
SF9 too.
They just announced that I think Monster X actually has a Korean and an English comeback happening supposedly. I have On and Off just announced a comeback early December, like I said, before they enlist. I just found out Stray Kids is dropping a Christmas single.
Oh yeah! Oh my God! I saw like their profile change. I saw their profile change, and I got pissed off. Like, oh my God!
Okay, I'm not gonna lie.
I saw like red and green, like color.
You're just like, damn it! It's not even Thanksgiving yet. No, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie, the title Christmas Evil spelled EVEL kind of kills me.
Nice. Yes. I really hope they do something like that's like not anti-Christmas, but it's like something that like, you know, subverts your expectations of like the Jingle Bell, like, you know, instrumentals or like Christmas is here.
Only 3 Ratchet could pull that off and pull it off spectacularly. I, hope so. I really hope they do. Like I could see them doing that. I really hope they subvert
my expectations. It's like, yeah, but like Christmas. No, I'm kidding.
No. I don't think they do that, but I think it'd be fun to see what they're going to do for a quote unquote Christmas single. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to that. No lie. Because I saw that come out. I saw that drop last night. I was just like,
Red Lights Part 2 Christmas Edition.
No, don't
you put that evil on me.
Don't you dare put that evil on me. I just already subjected people to red lights over the weekend. I don't know if that was a good
Christmas lights.
Oh my god.
Yes.
Oh my god. Yeah. Wow. Okay. I'm ending this episode before we go any further down this hellhole. Jenny, you plug your stuff.
Okay. Shit. No, I went jumped into the Weeha June Twitter page. Why did I do that? Anyways.
I don't know why you do that. Just plug your stuff.
I just like... Okay, well, you can... Okay, Facebook, Ginny Liano, GINNYLEANO. You can visit my design page at Ginny Liano Designs. Instagram design at Ginny Designs. And you can find all of my pages from like the links and my descriptions. All right, back to you, Jenny.
And you can find me, hopefully not spiraling, over on Facebook, facebook.com/Jenny Matasek. That's Jenny with an I, MATASEK. You can find me over on Instagram and on Twitter at Chaos Bulldog. You can also find the Noonas Podcast Show pages also on Instagram and at Twitter at Noonas_podcast. Don't forget the underscore. You can also check out Spotify playlists of our previous shows also under those handles. Just click those. You can also check out the SoundCloud of our shows, of our back episodes of our shows over on SoundCloud, soundcloud.com/Noonas podcast, all one word. And like we were teasing earlier today, we have a brand spanking new Facebook page. Just check out Noonas Podcast over on Facebook, facebook.com/Noonas podcast. We have a new home for our video forms of our show over there, so you can check them out, and we'll probably have a lot of other shenanigans over there, news stories. Mm-hmm. Ginny making me spiral over edits and stuff, most likely.
Probably ambush out a bit of like some thirst, posts here and there.
Most likely.
You guys are interested.
Keep it interesting. Hopefully I can do it right back. And you can also check us out also now over on YouTube too. YouTube, just search for Noonas, the Noonas podcast.
Yeah. We should also change our URL too. Like I'm
going to change that as well. I'll change it to Noonas podcast, to youtube.com/Noonas podcast. So you can check out the video form over on YouTube as well. Also, hopefully we're going to have some more unique video content over on YouTube as well. I'd love to do some album unboxings as well, because I'm really tempted to get that Christmas single.
Nice.
I mean, it's not Red Lights Part 2, but
you're just gonna have like a gag gift from me, like like a secret unboxing made by Jenny. I wonder what could it be.
I'm scared and I weep. Christmas is gonna be weird this year. Oh Lord.
Oh Lord.
I hate something like that. But yeah, this has been an episode of the News Podcast. As always, wow, I'm spiraling, and I feel like I've really committed myself this week. So this has been fun. Yeah, thanks, Jenny. Part of that was my own fault, but yeah. Anyway, I guess as we do every week, we just sign off with resulting
fighting.